So yeah, I would appreciate if all of you guys would, send me or resend me, your certificates of you, passing your challenges. If you've made withdrawals from live account, if you've made money, if you have anything, good to say, because, if you're here for so long, you must have found something here, right? You must have found something that helped you, and obviously there is something here that, has helped all of you, which is why you're still here right now, right? So again, if, you guys have, send me your certificates, everything, right? The next time, or if we have another intake or something, I'll try to find a way, where I can make like this Hall of Fame for, you guys who are the OGs. You're the first guys to ever done it, right? You're the first guys or gals, or, to ever do this, to ever experience what we teach here, right? So you don't send it in the chat, please. Just like send it just to me. I've seen you send them to me before, but like it usually gets lost, right? But I have thousands of messages, man, thousands. So anyways, just, send it. Just send it, and after you send it, send like a thumbs up emoji so we know who you are. Anyways, so yes, for now we're gonna be answering some questions. I'll be looking at what you guys are talking about, and you say, when will you discuss time premium discount? So I don't believe you even know what that is. Actually, you probably have an idea in your mind, or you have discovered something by yourself, which is good, right? But we will, go deeper into things like that, once we cover the prerequisites, right? It's not that this is what everyone, just doesn't understand. It's not just what we talk about now, right? We have next year, which you guys won't pay for. Remember that. We have next year. And then even after next year, even though some of you will be making money, this will just be for those of you who are just want to be crazy. You just want to, be insane, right? You want to go into the Robbins Cup, actually, right? And not just lie about it, right? Which we'll be doing as well, right? It's just that, as I've said before, right? Life happens and, we get extremely busy just out of nowhere. All of these things are, it's crazy, especially if you own a business or multiple, you have real estate or something like that, and then all of the responsibilities just begin to hit you, at the same time. Okay, let me answer this one. Can we use IRT for 90-minute intermarket sequential SMT with FX, or is it just for higher time frame cycles? Yes, you can, right? And the main thing that you must understand, you must grasp, right, is that you're not going to win everything, right? You just need a model or a handful of price action models that help you to anticipate wherever price is going to go, right? You just need a couple of those, right? And you need the most thing that you need to be focused on. The thing that you must manage is your risk, right? Because you already know what to do. Most of you are already good at what you're doing. If you've been here and you're not good at what you're doing, you just haven't, been, tape reading long enough. You haven't been back testing long enough. I'm pretty sure that, most of you are, at a better position than when you started, right? I have some issues with my entries. Maybe you can show some entry techniques, tax in advance, for sure, right? For sure. So next week, right, will be what would I call that? Just a stream where we will go over entries. So for you, Paul, we already have that coming next week, right? It's just entries. Entries, different types of entries where you couple different gaps with different gaps, even some entries, whereas you don't, actually need to have sequential SMT, but obviously it helps, right? We already know that, but you have, higher time frame gaps, you have gaps coupled with new week opening gaps and so on. Things that we will discuss. How do you know when sequential SMT won't work? So when won't it work? That's the thing. The thing is that it will work most of the times, right? But you need to understand that you will never be 100%, right? You need to understand that it's a mind game, right? You'll be good technically, right? But you will never be 100% correct, because you will have your own flaws, your human flaws. Things will happen, you'll get upset, then you'll bring that into, your trading life, and then that will corrupt your trades, right? Do you have a buddy who claims you taught him QT in a previous mentorship? I don't believe him, but is this true? No, I've never talked about this before, right? I've had it for years, but I still have not talked about it, right? Would it be possible to share a past trade from the same time to time so we could reverse engineer them based on your teaching text in advance? Yes. Right. Then when are we signing the NDA, brother? Soon. So I just go until, 3 more minutes, and then that would be it. Right. I would think most of us are shorter term traders than you are. Can you speak to some of the lower time frame cycle entries? Yes, for sure. Are we still using precision swing? Everything that we talk about is, we use. It's just that I can't be talking about everything, right? If we're referencing, we're looking at price, I can't just be talking about everything at the same time, because it's a lot. It's a lot, right? We can't talk about everything. You don't ignore anything, and you don't ignore anything, and then at the same time, you don't need to pay attention to everything. You have sequential SMT, a precision swing point, prices above the 2 week open. You have high impact news event, during that specific period of time, then you anticipate price to move, right? It moves in your direction, you're good. 1 to 3, you're managing your risk, you get out, right? Goes against you. Next, you can take one more trade, but what happens after that? If you win, you're done. If you lose, and make sure that you're using half risk, you're done as well, right? Okay. So yes. So right now, that's it for the Q&A. And again, as I've said, Saturday, we will be having price action discussions as well. It will be, actually, I did say it would be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but now it has to be 9, because where I am, it's actually 1 hour behind, right? And I did not put that into consideration when I was talking about that. So yes, you can see that we had iPad news event Tuesday, today, which is Wednesday. We did not have any iPad news events, which led to what? It led to choppy price action, which is what we expected. And tomorrow we have, we should be getting the most volatility enter the marketplace, right? And whenever I say something like this, right, it usually go over people's heads, right? We can look to see high or the low of the week being formed, right? Tomorrow, right? What does that mean? Okay, what does that mean? Tomorrow, high low week will be formed. I mean, if we have sequential SMT, or if we have a precision swing point that's lodged within a new week opening gap, if we have price trading below oil low, then after there is a new week opening gap, if there's intermarket sequential SMT, if there's any of those things that we look for, we will see expansion, or we should see expansion. There's a high probability that we should see expansion, right? Then Friday, we could expect price to just return within the range which it came from. Here, you guys can see, right? This was our major drawn liquidity for the NASDAQ, right? And we can see that price is, seems to be on its way there. And I believe that it will get there, But now you can see that, and this is mainly due to the fact that we're in the last week of the month, right? And also just remember this, right? The last week of the month usually breeds reversals, higher time frame reversals, right? So just keep that in mind as well, right? So here we have this high, and we have this higher time frame gap above this high, right? Here we have this high right here, right? Here we have this high right here, which is further away from, where price is right now than this current price action in relation to this high, looking at the NASDAQ, right? So if we see price run above this high, then break back below this high right here, what could you see? What could you expect? As long as price doesn't break above this high, it would be considered as what? Sequential SMT, right? It's that simple. It's that simple, right? It's that simple. Here you can see that for the E-mini SMP, and I believe it should be easier to see here, right? Here, we, as I've said before, I would not consider this as a turtle soup, right? If price does push above here, right, and close above this wick right here, then a wick above the close, then we could consider, a reversal. And we're at all-time highs right now, right? That's something to keep in mind, right? Here we have, right here, what is this? This is low resistance liquidity, right? So price trades above here, there's sequential SMT. Remember, there has to be sequential SMT, right? And if it's not here between these assets, it must be, there must be at least interim of sequential SMT, right? Why? Because right here, we don't have a gap here. There's no gaps here, right? There's nothing above this price action right here to rely upon, right? So most times when you see price look like this, right, looks like a wedge. This is usually what you get. Price goes above, drop, clears here. Right here, this was the drawn liquidity, something that we talked about. And you can see that we did have price, reach for here, even though it did that in a, choppy way, right? So, and also we have price right now trading above the 2-week open. So if tomorrow we see price just spike, we could see just fall back, at least take this low out, right? Here on this side, right? First of all, we were correct here. All of this side, upside here, right? Whenever you see the Dow, get out of sync, or you're looking at another asset class, so you have one out of the 2 charts get out of sync, right? Then that's a telltale sign that we should be expecting a correlation very soon, right? Also, you must understand, even though we were correct or whatever for the last few streams, or or our directional bias has been spot on, it's still low probability conditions, right? And as I've said before, this will most likely be the case until November 5th, or you better know it as the presidential elections, right? So this will be the case more than likely until then. For Bitcoin, you can see that we have these highs right here, right? So first of all, you guys remember, since we were here, we expected higher prices, and this was the main drawn liquidity that we expected, right? For now, you can see that price is just going back and forth, right? But tomorrow we should see, liquidity enter the marketplace, after which we could look for this high to be reached. Also keep in mind that, if you see price fall below these lows, you could expect it to, spike up back within this range, right? So here again, right, you can see that here we have the S&P 500, right? Basically, these are equal highs. And you already know my case with equal highs. And the same way that I think about equal highs, right? It's the same way I think about, diagonal liquidity, or, better known as trendline liquidity, right? But usually, right, I would expect this to be taken first. But in the case that this is taken first, one of these lows followed by sequential SMT, then we could expect price to run here and then, fall again. So here we have a better look at, the price action of the index futures triad, right? So here you can see that today was a awful day, right? Today was not a good day to be participating in the marketplace, which is why when you're on Twitter, you'll see, people saying stay out of the marketplace, or, yes, this is why, right? You'll see more, experienced or more seasoned analysts / traders, right, telling you that this is not a good time to be trading, right? And that is totally fine. It's totally fine. Why? Well, the elections are coming up, right? And we have elections in different countries coming up as well, right? The elections will play a big role in what will happen for the next, 4-year period of price. As I've said before, the closer we get to elections, the more you'll see like tight price action, the more you'll see random quote unquote fluctuations, right? That's just how it is. That's just how it goes, right? So yes, for now, we have this high right here for the E-mini NASDAQ. Again, right? Can we focus on this high? If we see sequential SMT, then we know what to do. I expect price to fall back within this range. First target, we have this gap right here. Then we have these lows right here, right? So yes, and again, for the remainder of the stream, I want to, give those who joined late a chance to just ask a few questions. And if you join late, I'll say this again, send your certificates if you've made any money, anything like that, to me. I'm going to try to have this like Hall of Fame thing for the, next time whenever we have people just joining, right? Will this be recorded? It is recorded. Yes. No FX analysis today. No. Whenever the market is not high probability, I rather not to do anything with it, right? And I actually did not go anywhere for vacation. I just went somewhere for business, but just brought, the family behind. Will the Saturday live stream be recorded? Yes, it will be. For sure. It will be. Everything will be recorded. Right? So here, right, I want you guys to understand, right? You already have everything that you need, right? You do. You do. I was able to trade today's PA by a convert. Yeah, that's very good, right? You already have everything that you need. So I've posted, if you go back on WAP, which is where I post most of the, models, so to speak, you'll see models that repeat over and over every day, right? And you guys already know I'm not the person that will be wrong and then come and say, oh, the market maker is following my stops, or, just ignore it. No, I come back, I tell you why. Because that's how it is. That's how this game is, right? The only person that will not get anything wrong or would not get anything wrong is God. And I don't think God trades. How come I don't go live on WAP? Because it's not ready yet, right? So yes, you can see that this week so far, lots of choppy press action. Even if you might manage to, trade the NASDAQ today, it's, whenever we're at all-time highs like this, it's, more difficult than normal, right? Which is why, last week, it was easy to predict where price would go, because in these types of price action, it's usually up. Hope you guys found this useful. We have hours of videos, right? Hours upon hours upon hours. And, going into next year, going into, next month, right? I would implore you to, make sure that you have went through everything so that you don't get confused about anything else, anything that we're going to talk about. With that being said, I hope that you found this useful. We'll be back here Saturday. Good luck and good trading.